I'm James Brierton in Charlotte, North Carolina, coming to you on the networks of the Carolina Weather Group. We are tracking a tornado warning for Alamance and Guilford counties in North Carolina until 12:30. Let's take you there now. On radar, you can see that we have been tracking a strong line of thunderstorms, the first line of many today that is pushing eastward across North Carolina. Just to give you a lay of the land here, this is going to be coming into the Raleigh, Durham, Cary area in the next few minutes, this entire line of strong to potentially damaging winds. But right now we have a tornado warning that is in red here, and this is just on the east side of Greensboro. Matter of fact, the polygon just disappeared off the map, but I think that is a mapping error. So the tornado warning itself is going to be right on in here. So this is going to be including the I-40, I-85 corridor, areas including Burlington and Elon. Let me get maybe the program restarted here because we suddenly just had most of our polygons disappear off the map, which seems to be a bit of a computing error. But I can still see that the tornado warning itself remains active in our system that we use to communicate with the National Weather Service. So let's go ahead and close out radar scope. My camera full screen will restart this. We've been tracking this line that began to generate over portions of North Carolina in the past hour or so. We'll get to them in a moment where the new severe thunderstorm watch is that will expand out, including more of the area. But right now, let's talk about the most threatening thing, which is that this potential thunderstorm with potential rotation is now moving eastward out of Greensboro. And so, again, this is going to be leaving the McLeansville area. This is Elon, Burlington, Graham, and Green level. Mabin, you would be in this if it were to be continued. We'll switch over here. We're using the radar out of Roanoke to show you now velocity. This is the winds in the atmosphere. So we're looking for where that potential rotation would be, and it's very close right now to where Elon is. If we go ahead and put this into motion for the last few minutes, you can see this storm pushed eastward out of Greensboro. And actually, if I can just stop it right in here, you can see right there is where the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that tornado warning, because that's where they were picking up some of the strongest rotation. So again, this goes for the next 20 minutes or so and is for northern Alamance and northeastern Guilford counties. National Weather Service tracking the severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Elon, moving 7 miles northwest at Burlington, moving east at 35 miles an hour. This would be in Burlington at 12:10 and Graham by 12:15. But this is not the only game in town. Let me widen this out. The tornado warnings, right? Those are the jazziest. Those are the ones that go red on the map that we're always looking at. But we have potential for damaging wind all the way from the Virginia border, stretching down as far south as Salisbury right now. And along that line, we have the potential for damaging winds, whether they be rotating from a potential tornado or just coming at you as a wall. So those would be straight line winds. We could potentially see damage from this wind, from these thunderstorms all along this line. So again, our first and foremost attention is going to go to that tornado warning. It naturally does. But all of these yellow polygons right now are the potential for damaging winds that could be a threat to life or property. Let me go ahead and take off the special weather statements just so we can clean this map up here a little bit, because right now we want to be looking at those Class A warnings, those severe thunderstorm warnings, those tornado warnings. And we're also watching along this line other potential areas for spin up. So there's a little rotation happening here closer to the south side of Danville, near that state line. Again, we're watching potential rotation in the Elon area. Let's look at some of the winds right now that could be potential on the ground with this storm. These are radar estimates, but you can see we're getting winds right now near 40, 50 miles an hour as this storm continues off to the east. Outside of that tornado warning, but inside that yellow severe thunderstorm warning, take a look right here. About 60-mile-per-hour winds on the southeast side of Greensboro. We have a new severe thunderstorm watch being issued now for portions of the state. We'll show you that on a broad view in a moment to kind of show the lay of the land of who could be impacted by severe weather today. A warning means that the severe weather is occurring. It's either occurring now, as is the case everywhere where you see these heavy rains. If I switch back over to reflectivity, right? So all of these areas right now are under a severe thunderstorm warning, but you can see those warnings do extend a little bit further out, because the warning means that the severe weather is either occurring now or will be in the next few minutes. A watch means that the severe weather is possible over the hours ahead. So the watch that is currently being issued by the National Weather Service is going to extend over a larger area and a larger period of time. Essentially, that watch is going to include more or less everything to the east of I-77 across portions of North Carolina. It's still being issued right now by the National Weather Service, so we'll get it pulled up on a map in a moment to show you who could be in play later on through the day. But right now, we're going to continue to focus in on the severe weather that is happening right now. Those are those warning polygons that you see on the map in red and in yellow. The yellow being the severe thunderstorm warnings that extend from multiple counties, right? So those severe thunderstorm warnings right now are for Alamance, Chatham, Davidson, Guilford, Orange, Randolph. A little sliver of Rowan has recently been expired, and you can see that it also extends up to Caswell and Rockingham in North Carolina. And if you happen to be watching us from the city of Danville or Halifax or Pittsylvania in Virginia, you are also under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time. If you know anybody who might be living along essentially the space in North Carolina between Greensboro and Raleigh, give them a call and let them know the severe weather could be coming to them in the next few minutes to upwards of an hour. And then that that severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued will really play in as we go on through the rest of the day, because everyone will have to be watching for on again, off again thunderstorms as we go on through the day. So let me see if I can now pull up for you that severe thunderstorm watch, because I want to let you know how big this impact is as we go on through the rest of the day. And we've got that here now. And I can pop this up on the screen for you. So just to give you an idea of how big this watch box is as we go on through the rest of the day, you can see from Charlotte, I-77 corridor, off to the east, including, again, portions of both the triangle, the triad, Fayetteville, Wilmington, Jacksonville, Greenville, North Carolina, all of you are in the severe thunderstorm watch as we go on through the rest of the day. The watch means that all of these areas have the potential for seeing severe weather as we go on through the day. The warning are in effect right now for where severe weather is imminently occurring. And so that's why we have a tornado warning for Alamance and Guilford, and that broader severe thunderstorm watch that is out now too. So you can see kind of now the graphic software here has caught up, and we have that watch box that has come out. We'll wait to see if they decide to extend that watch box out to include any of South Carolina. I think it's potentially possible that they will, because if we look at the severe outlook for the day, you can see we have that slight risk from the I-77 corridor off to the east. That slight risk is a tier 2 out of 5. And it does include portions of South Carolina as you make your way down towards, say, Myrtle Beach, for example, and as far inland maybe as portions of Florence. It stops a little shy of the Charleston area. So that 2 out of 5 risk is really for the potential of damaging winds today. So that's kind of the overall picture. And we're starting to see that play out now as we're watching these storms move across the Carolinas. And we will continue to see that in the hours ahead. So I wouldn't be surprised, South Carolina, if in Sumter or Anor or Georgetown, maybe you get into this watch activity a little bit later on. But first and foremost, let's talk about, again, what's happening right now. It's that line of severe storms that's pushing out of the triad and into the triangle. So we can begin to give kind of the all clear in Wake Forest, not yet in High Point, but soon. The rain is continuing in those areas, but it is along that leading edge right now where we're seeing the strongest winds and the potential for a quick tornadic spin up as well. We have an update now from the National Weather Service where, let's see here, if we put this in a couple different modes, we might be able to see a little bit more what's going on. So right now, you're going to need to continue to seek shelter in areas that include Green Level, Burlington, Elon. This is directly over you right now, Hay River, and Graham. Be on standby in places like Mabin and Hillsborough, as this potentially could continue off to the east as either a tornado warning or more likely as a severe thunderstorm warning. If you're inside this tornado warning right now, heck, even if you're inside the severe thunderstorm warning right now, to seek shelter from these potential damaging winds. Again, they could be spinning or they could be coming straight line. You want to be in the lowest level, most interior room of a sturdy structure. So you want to try to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Stay away from windows and doors. And I understand that not everyone's necessarily going to have a basement, but it's probability, right? So you just want to try to increase your odds that you won't be impacted by potential storm debris or by winds by putting as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. And you know what structures are available to you and where that might be. So in my house, I don't have a basement, but I do have a closet that's in the middle of my house on the first floor. So we're not underground, but I have as many walls potentially between me and the outside as possible. Let's see here. I thought at one point we had an Elon University webcam. Might be able to take a look there to see a little bit of what's happening on the ground right now. We're going to try to find that if it's still around. I'm not sure it's still around. We did get some video tweeted into us a little earlier. And I can show that to you here. Joseph Nevin sent this to us about an hour ago. This was before the tornado warning came out, but it still shows just the intensity of the rain and the wind moving through portions of North Carolina. Looks like we're looking at maybe the front of a home here. You can see wind is blowing. Look at that tree in the center of your frame, how much is leaning there. Again, a severe thunderstorm warning means that winds about 60 miles an hour or greater are occurring. So a severe thunderstorm warning should not be disregarded because it is the potential that you could see wind damage from a storm. And a tornado warning would go out if that storm had a funnel to it and was rotating. But again, while we have 2 counties right now that remain under a tornado warning, and that is important, we also need to keep in mind the broader line of potential wind damage. If we include Virginia right now and come on south, we've got about 100 miles north to south from just across the Virginia line down through portions of North Carolina. About 100 miles right now of a wall of potentially damaging wind. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued this severe thunderstorm warning. And we got at least one area of potential tornadic rotation inside of it. I say just one at the moment, but we're watching as we switch this over to velocity, other areas where this storm is rotating, including south of Milton right now. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning there. Continuing to watch this tornado warning, which goes for 11 more minutes. To highlight for you where we are, you got Greensboro over here, the left-hand side of your screen, Hillsboro on the right side of your screen, and then obviously off to Raleigh-Durham on the right. You have Interstate 40 and 85 kind of skirting the south side of this polygon, this red polygon right on in here that I'm highlighting now in blue for the potential of that tornadic rotation. I think it's possible that places like at Elon and maybe in the city of Burlington, they have tornado warning sirens. You might be hearing those go off right now. But again, remember, sirens are just really intended as a supplement. If you're outside and you happen to be away from a radio or a TV, you might be able to hear those while you're outdoors. But again, you want multiple ways to receive warnings, albeit maybe from a NOAA weather radio, from your cell phone. Don't rely just on outdoor sirens. So if you do know anybody right now in these areas, give them a call. Make sure that they know that we have the potential for damaging winds. A severe thunderstorm warning includes multiple counties: Alamance, Orange, Davidson, Randolph, Guilford, and Chatham, along with Caswell, City of Danville, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Halifax, Virginia. Those are where we have the severe thunderstorm warning. So we have the wind threat from thunderstorms, and then the tornado warning is kind of an isolated area inside of that, kind of a supplement, if you will, for Alamance County here for the next few minutes. It does look like we probably have dropped Guilford off of this warning. Now that the rotation has moved a little bit further east, we have an all clear both from the tornadic threat in Guilford County. Eastern Guilford County, you're still going to have some of these strong winds, but you can already see some of the rain is letting up in portions of actual city center in Greensboro. We have some MPing reports. These are reports that you all send in using MPing from the community of lawn chairs, small debris, things like that blown around as associated with the storm. Let's switch this over to velocity. And we could try to get some measurements here of what the winds threats are. Some of the brighter colors will signify where we could be seeing that wind threat right now. Again, I'm still watching Milton. Right here where the reds and the greens come together closely is an area to watch for more potential rotation. Getting new storm reports in now from Greensboro, a trained weather spotter telling us multiple large trees blocking an intersection on Onslow Drive and Northampton Drive. That's in Guilford County there in Greensboro. Multiple large trees blocking the intersection on Onslow Drive and Northampton Drive as a result of this strong line of storms that has been moving through the area and now is continuing off to the east. In not too long, I would suspect we'll start to see some warnings extended into portions of the triangle, Durham, Cary, Raleigh. I would suspect that we'll see severe thunderstorm warnings here in the next little bit, assuming this line continues to hold together in the magnitude that it has. Got Joey watching from Facebook. Thanks for joining us here on the extended network of the Carolina Weather Group, watching from Burlington. Now I'm coming to you from where I sit in Charlotte, and we're beginning to see heavier rain here. Not picking up any lightning right now. Nothing severe. But again, even as far south right now as Mecklenburg County, the rain is starting to be scattered and picking up. And we showed you a few minutes ago, and we will show you again here, that we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is associated with our current line of storms, but also a severe thunderstorm watch. So all of us from Charlotte to the east across North Carolina need to continue to monitor for the potential of severe weather, mostly associated with wind damage and up to quarter-size hail as we go on through the rest of the day. This goes until 6 o'clock. We'll wait to see if this gets extended into South Carolina. I think it could for places like Florence and Myrtle Beach. But it's going to be a day of on-again, off-again storms across the area. Just actually got notified by my weather station here near Matthews in southeastern Mecklenburg County, not too far from Charlotte, that it's starting now to pick up some lightning strikes. Back here in the Queen City as well, too. It's probably picking these up here near Kannapolis. All right, so the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. And so we can go ahead and give the all clear on the tornado warning that we previously had for Alamance and Guilford County. We do still have a threat of damaging winds associated with this line of storms that over the course of the next few minutes will begin to push into portions of the triangle region. It's moving out of the triad and into the triangle. But again, look again, as I put this radar into motion, you can see on the south side of this line, storms newly generating. And so while we can continue to track in real time what we have right now, we should also watch on the southern edge of this for additional storms that could come over the Charlotte area and then push off to the east. I say that because if you're in areas right now, like Southern Pines or Hamlet or Rockingham County, you might be looking at the radar going, hey, I got nothing here. Which is true. You got nothing here right now. But continue to watch because we're seeing new development that is going to generate and then push off to the east. We did just get a flash flood warning for Alamance, Chatham, Guilford, and Randolph counties until 3 o'clock, associated with the storms that have already moved through that area. Because as they're showing you right now on radar, not only is the rainfall intensity heavy at times, as you can see here on reflectivity with the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, slow moving and freshly generating. So even though this band of heavy rain right now, this leading edge is moving out of Greensboro, we do still have some rain lingering back behind it and the potential that more could generate. So now on the map, you can see newly drawn from the National Weather Service. It's in green, and I will outline it with my highlighter here. This is a flash flood warning. And that flash flood warning means that we could see waters rising pretty quickly in areas where flooding doesn't normally occur. That would include maybe along creeks and streams, but also low-lying areas on roads. Doppler radar indicates these thunderstorms are producing heavy rains, up of 2 inches of rain per hour, and the expected rainfall rate of 2 inches in 1 hour is enough to cause flash flooding. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly, and this includes Greensboro, High Point, Burlington, Asheboro, Graham, the North Carolina Zoo, Mabin, Gibbonsville, Pleasant Garden, Archdale, Jamestown, Liberty. And the Hall River. Shout outs to Joey for letting me know that I was saying it wrong previously. Sorry about that. Appreciate it. I think we will continue to see throughout the day additional severe thunderstorm warnings issued and additional flash flood warnings issued associated with these storms. Joseph's watching right now on YouTube. Joseph, I don't know if you were with us a few minutes ago here on the stream, but we did show the tweet that you sent to us about an hour ago. Appreciate that. It's windy there. Not surprised to see a weak rotation, and I agree as well too. We're not too surprised to have seen one of those pop off. We'll let people know who might just be joining us as well that we do have a slight risk, a tier 2 out of 5 for severe storms, mostly in that I-77 corridor to the east in both North Carolina and the northern portions of South Carolina. The primary threat with that is going to be wind damage, right? So if we were to break that down, that's about a 15% chance in that same area of seeing damaging wind as we go on throughout the day. The tornado threat is actually so low it doesn't show up on the map, but as you've already seen here by the lunchtime hour on this Sunday, we already got one tornado warning issued, and the hail threat is so low it doesn't technically show up on the map as well too. The primary threat continuing to be the wind damage at about 15%, and that's why the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center went ahead and put us in that yellow 2 out of 5. But again, these are just outlooks. So the fact that we already got a tornado warning, as Joseph was just alluding to, not too surprised to see some of those weak rotation quickly spin up. And that's going to happen along the line of these storms where they kind of bow and bend a little bit, especially maybe if one of these storms actually gets enough strength and kind of goes solo by itself a little bit. So we'll watch for the potential of more tornadic rotation throughout the day, but we'll also remind everybody not to disregard the yellow polygons, so the severe thunderstorm warnings, or the green polygons for flash flood warnings, because those are going to be just as impactful, if not more impactful, than any of those quick-lived tornado warnings we get. It looks like the line is beginning to fall apart now in portions of Alamance and the Guilford County line, as Joseph is providing us an update there. And that's pretty good. That'll hopefully stabilize the atmosphere here for a little bit. We'll watch for the potential that we could see more storms generate back behind it as we go on through the rest of the day. Matter of fact, we can hopefully take you on over to Futurecast Radar, if I can get my mouse working again. I think I do. And kind of show you the HRRR model run. So this is a computer model now. And you can see that more or less it's got the storms where they are right now. And as we go on through the rest of the day, watch again as this line of storms, the computer model anticipates that line of storms. This first line is going to continue to strengthen as it moves off to the east. And then later on today, we could see the potential that a few more storms try to regenerate over some of the same areas. Could be Charlotte, could be Greensboro, especially if we continue to get heating. The more sunshine, the more heating we get, we might be able to recharge some of the atmosphere. Right now, as Joseph was alluding to, in portions of Guilford County and in Alamance, some of the heaviest storms are moving out. Back now to real-time radar. But we'll continue to watch for the potential that new storms could get going to the south of this current line over portions of the Charlotte area. And again, as the storm continues now to push towards Raleigh, Durham, and Cary, consider this round 1, and we'll watch for the potential of additional storms as we go on through the rest of the day. Alex is telling me he just sent us something on Twitter. Let me go there now, Alex. Give me 1 second. Oh, yeah, I got it here, Alex. All right, so Alex has got some video for us from Asheboro that he looks like he picked up maybe from a friend here named Amanda. This is going to be my afternoon, trying to go grocery shopping later. I'm watching some of that heavy rain. You can see the intensity of that rain. Again, we were watching Asheboro along right now, this round one of severe storms moving through the area. Thanks for bringing that to our attention there, Alex. It's always nice to be able to show people what's happening on the ground as opposed to just with radar. So I appreciate that very much. We'll take you back over now to live radar. And I do want to let you know that as we go on through the course of the rest of the afternoon, places and ways you can get warnings and updates from us here at the Carolina Weather Group. You can catch real-time tweets on our Twitter account, Carolina WX Group, for tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and flash flood warnings. We're also streaming continuously on YouTube, so you'll get updates just like this one. We'll come on camera and walk you through a little bit of what we are seeing on radar and what we are learning from the National Weather Service. But you can also watch continuous radar and real-time alerts when I'm not in this chair. It's called Carolina Weather Net. It streams real-time warnings, tornadoes, severe thunderstorm warnings, and flash flood warnings, along with live sky cams and current conditions. And so you can keep that on in the background as well if you're looking for multiple ways to receive warnings. So we got those for you on Twitter and on YouTube, and we will be back across the network of the Carolina Weather Group on places like Facebook and Twitch as severe weather warrants throughout the day. So I hope you'll find us there. I'm going to take you back over right now if you're watching on YouTube. Actually take you over to the Severe Weather Net in the next few minutes. If you're watching on Facebook or you're watching one of those other platforms, feel free to hop on over to the Carolina Weather Group on YouTube. Because again, the Carolina Weather Net is a place where you can park it and kind of monitor radar throughout the day. As we prepare to wrap up this stream now at about 12:30 in the afternoon on this Sunday, a reminder that we do have one line of storms right now, beginning to push out of the triad and into the triangle, and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for most of central and eastern North Carolina until at least 6 o'clock, with the potential that this could be expanded into South Carolina. Watch means that severe weather is capable in the hours ahead, and a warning telling us where the severe weather is occurring right now. Find yourself in a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning, be sure to seek shelter inside a sturdy building away from windows and doors. And again, a thunderstorm can have lightning and not have a warning. If you're close enough to see lightning or hear thunder, head indoors. Don't wait for a warning. The warnings will come when the storm is capable of 60-mile-per-hour winds or quarter-size hail. But all thunderstorms have lightning associated with them. So again, if you can hear thunder or see lightning, head indoors. Those lightning strikes can occur up to 30 miles away from the storm. And so already that lightning threat is 30 miles out ahead of this line and already in places like UNC and NC State, even ahead of the rain. So heads up to those campuses right now. If you know anybody in the triangle, give them a call. Make sure that they know this line of severe thunderstorms is coming their way. Stay safe. We'll have updates to follow from the Carolina Weather Group throughout the day. So long for now.